The silent sky, the sky above Gelcor was dead. Not a whisper of wind, not a flicker of life, just an endless gray expanse over the shattered remnants of New Atlas colony. Smoke curled and slow, sinister tendrils from the wrecked habitation domes, reflecting the dying light of Gelcor's twin suns. Human engineers had once called this place the jewel of Perseus Sector, a hub of thriving trade and cross-species diplomacy. Now it was nothing more than a grave. Lieutenant Mara Varen stood atop a ridge overlooking the devastation, her heart hammering against her chest. The familiar hum of her exosuit's sensors couldn't drown out the screams in her memory. She hadn't witnessed the attack firsthand, but the reports were clear. 500 humans and countless alien settlers were slaughtered in hours. Her family, her friends, her home gone. And still, the galaxy's council debated, pondered, and negotiated. They were too slow, too cautious, too unwilling to act. A low vibration under her boots drew her attention. Her exosuit's HUD flickered with motion readings, faint heat signatures moving across the smoldering plains. "Not human, show yourself!" She shouted into the empty air. A figure emerged from the haze, tall and slender, with translucent skin that glimmered like liquid silver. Its eyes, enormous and amber, reflected fear, anger, and a raw apply for trust. "I survived," it whispered in broken galactic standard, voice trembling. They slaughtered. All. Mara knelt to meet the alien's gaze. Who did this? Her voice was calm, but beneath it throbbed a fury she barely contained. They call themselves the Crashen. They burn everything that moves. They. The alien choked, tears streaking down its metallic face. Mara clenched her fists. The Crashen had been a distant rumor, a warrior species, rumored to annihilate entire colonies without mercy, but nothing in the intelligence reports could have prepared anyone for this scale of destruction. And now survivors were few. Name? Mara asked softly. Jalarin. The alien stammered. I cannot. Go back, Mara nodded. She understood more than she let on. She, too, could not go back, not with the galaxy watching and doing nothing. Her mission had been simple. Assist colonization, negotiate peace, maintain harmony. Now it had transformed into something far more personal. She rose, towering over the ridge. The colony below smoldered like a wound on the planet's face. Mara's mind raced. Communications with the Council were jammed. Any attempt to summon aid would take weeks. Weeks in which the Crashen could strike again. Her gaze swept the horizon and froze. Shadows moved in patterns impossible to mistake for wildlife. They were too large, too organized. Mara activated her exosuit's long-range sensors. Multiple signatures. Too many, she muttered. Heat and motion readings confirmed her fear. This was not a reconnaissance team. This was an invasion fleet. J.A.L. single quotes Wren gasped, pointing with trembling limbs. They are coming for you next. Mara's blood ran cold. Not because she feared death. She had stared it down countless times, but because the galaxy was blind, and humanity's neighbors were unprepared. The Crashen were merciless, and New Atlas had been the first. If no one acted, Gelcor would be next, and then every human colony in the sector. She looked down at Jalarin. The alien's face was smeared with ash and blood. We have no time. You'll need shelter, weapons, allies, but the first step is survival. Mara's communicator crackled with static. A single voice emerged through the interference, a low, commanding tone she hadn't heard in years. Mara Varen. Status report. Now, it was Admiral Thorne, leader of the human defense fleet. She hadn't spoken to him in months. Ever since she'd left active duty, to lead new Atlas terraforming project. Her heart leapt with conflicted relief. "Admiral," Mara said, her voice taut, "it's worse than anyone imagined. Colony destroyed. Survivors almost none. The crashing. They're moving fast. Too fast. We need confirm you're still alive." "That's all that matters," Thorne interrupted. Then, after a pause, "Mara, the fleet is ready. 500,000 warships are in position. Waiting on your command." Mara froze. 500,000 warships. The number seemed unreal, almost a myth. But her instincts told her Thorne wasn't bluffing. Humanity had waited, built, and strategized, hidden behind layers of diplomacy, while the galaxy gossiped about human aggression. Now, the hammer was ready to fall. Jalarin's voice trembled. "Your people. They will destroy everything?" Mara's fists tightened. "Not everything. Just those who deserve it. Justice and survival. They won't make the same mistake twice." The sky darkened suddenly. Shadows fell across the ridge, enormous shapes blotting out the suns. The ground trembled. From the horizon, warships hundreds, then thousands descended in precise formation. Each one gleamed with human engineering, sleek, deadly, impossibly fast. Mara's eyes narrowed. "They're here," she whispered. A scream cut through the wind, human, alien, primal. The first wave of Krishon raiders had arrived. And Mara realized with a chill that this was no longer about survival. It was about vengeance. The horizon erupted in fire as plasma lances tore through the atmosphere. Mara gritted her teeth. 500,000 warships weren't just numbers. They were a promise. A warning. A reckoning. She took a deep breath. Her exosuit's HUD blinked with incoming enemy patterns. Mara Varen, ex-soldier, colonist, survivor, was about to ignite a war the galaxy would never forget. And as the first Krashon ship fell in a ball of human-engineered fire, Mara whispered to herself, "This is for New Atlas." The ridge shook again. But this time, not from explosions. From something larger, something moving faster than any human weapon had ever faced. Mara's eyes widened in horror as a shadow eclipsed the sun, a massive shape bigger than any fleet. And then it spoke, a voice unlike anything she had heard before, alien, metallic, filled with contempt, echoed across the battlefield. "Humans, you are too late." The rising storm, the shadow above Jalkor, was colossal, a living nightmare made of metal and alien engineering. It glided with terrifying precision, wings of unknown alloy cutting through the dim sunlight. Mara's HUD screamed warnings. Every sensor reading suggested it could obliterate her entire position in seconds. Jalarin flinched, stepping closer to Mara. It is called the Oblivion. One of their gods. They use it to end worlds. No one survives." Mara's fists clenched around her weapon. She had stared death in the face before, but never like this. The Oblivion was more than a ship. It was a statement. A declaration of supremacy designed to crush hope itself. "Then we make them regret that statement," Mara said, her voice steady, though her heart thundered. "We don't run. We fight. And we survive." Jalarin tilted his head, amber eyes filled with a mix of awe and terror. "Fight? How?" "Our weapons. They are primitive. Their shields. Their fire. You cannot." Mara cut him off. "Watch me." Using the ridge for cover, she accessed her exosuit's tactical array. The HUD displayed every incoming Krashon vessel, from scout fighters to the massive dreadnought hovering over the horizon. Mara's mind raced, calculating odds, velocities, attack vectors. In her chest, fury mingled with grief. The colony's massacre burned hotter than any sun. She keyed the comms. "Fleet, this is Varen. Engage the Crashin. Prioritize Oblivion. Use coordinated volleys. Fire at their wings first, then shields. I repeat, strike at the wings." Static buzzed, then one clear, unwavering voice responded. Admiral Thorne. "Understood." "Fleet, light the skies." In the distance, 500,000 warships erupted from their hiding positions, firing plasma lances, missile swarms, and particle beams. The sky over Zhalkor ignited in a symphony of fire and death. Mara's exosuit registered thousands of kills in second scouts, fighters, and even medium-class destroyers falling under human fire. But the Oblivion moved with terrifying intelligence, dodging attacks with a grace that mocked the human fleet. Each strike Mara commanded was met with a counterstrike that carved entire battle platforms from the sky. "Too fast. Too coordinated," Jalarin whispered, eyes wide. "Even humans cannot watch us," Mara snapped. "Focus, predict, adapt." She tapped into her engineering instincts, honed from years of modifying exosuits and colony defenses. Every human ship in her command began adjusting their firing patterns, not just attacking, but learning, adapting like living organisms. Each volley from the fleet was smarter, faster, more precise. Mara could see the Oblivion faltering, shields flickering. Then a horrifying realization struck her. From the ship's hull, hundreds of Krashon drones detached, swarming the human fleet. They were small, fast, and deadly. Hundreds of thousands, tearing through the warships like knives through silk. "Jalarin," Mara shouted. "Get to the evac point, now." The alien hesitated, fear frozen in amber eyes. "Cannot leave your people. They can handle this," Mara said grimly. "But you need to survive. Remember New Atlas. Tell them we came for justice." Jalarin fled toward a hidden cave system in the ridge. Mara watched him go, her gut twisting. She didn't have time for sentiment. Her fleet was bleeding, but they were holding. And then came the sound, a deep, resonant hum, like the heartbeat of a star. Asterisk. Mara turned to see the Oblivion unfolding something impossible. A massive energy array, pulsing with bright violet light. The air itself seemed to ripple. The ground shook. Her HUD went red with critical warnings. Energy levels off the charts. "There. Charging a planet-scale weapon," Mara whispered. "If that fires..." Jalarin's voice echoed from the comms, frantic. "Mara, you cannot..." Before he could finish, a beam of concentrated energy shot down from the Oblivion. It struck the ridge near Mara, vaporizing everything in an instant. Her exosuit system screamed warnings, shields flaring, sensors frying. Rocks, debris, and soil were torn into the air. She rolled, firing her plasma rifle blindly. The fleet below was in chaos. Human warships fell in droves, caught in the beam's expansion. Mara realized with a sickening certainty. The Oblivion could obliterate not just the fleet, but the planet itself if it fully charged. Adrenaline surged. Mara activated an emergency protocol she had designed for her exosuit, an overdrive mode that allowed one human to operate as a living tactical node, directing thousands of ships simultaneously. The procedure was untested on a planetary scale, but there was no choice. Her HUD flickered violently as she connected to the fleet's network. Hundreds of thousands of warships sensed to her brainwaves. She could feel them as extensions of herself, responding instantly to her commands. Every missile, every plasma beam, every evasive maneuver, she controlled them all. But then came the moment she dreaded. The Oblivion fired its main cannon. Mara's sensors screamed. Planet-scale destruction in 3, 2, 1. A massive shield flared across the fleet, powered by human ingenuity. Ships had linked energy grids to form a collective barrier, feeding off Mara's command. The beam hit the shield, exploding in a blinding flash. The shockwave knocked Mara off her feet. When she opened her eyes, smoke and debris swirled across the battlefield. Thousands of human ships had been destroyed. Thousands more were crippled. The Oblivion was still standing. Her HUD lit up with incoming data, an even larger fleet approaching from the horizon. Crashin reinforcements. Mara gritted her teeth. "Just keep coming," she muttered. Then Jalarin's trembling voice came over the comms. "Mara." There they brought a second Oblivion. The sky darkened again, eclipsed by a shape larger and more horrifying than the first. Mara's stomach turned. This was no longer a battle. It was the prelude to annihilation. Asterisk fire in the void. Base. Second Oblivion rose over the horizon, like a death sentence written across the stars. Its hull shimmered with black alloy, absorbing the light of Jalcor's twin suns. Where the first Oblivion had been terrifying, the second was despair made manifest. Mara's HUD dimmed, sensors choking on the sheer energy signatures radiating from the new arrival. Her throat tightened. 2 of them. She whispered, "Admiral Thorn, do you read?" The comm crackled. Thorn's voice came through, strained but resolute. "I read you, Varen. We've lost 100,000 ships. Shields are failing. But if you can give us a weakness any weakness, we'll exploit it." Mara glanced at her tactical readout. The first Oblivion's shields were flickering after her coordinated strikes. She had learned its rhythm, its delays. The second, however, was fresh, and worse, it was positioning itself above the fleet, like a predator circling its prey. "They're boxing us in," she said, her voice cold. "One above, one forward. If they fire together, Jalcor is gone." Jalarin's voice broke in, urgent. "Mara, listen. The Oblivions, they are alive. Not just ships. Symbiotic war machines. They feel. They think. If you hurt one, the other will." "Protect," Mara froze. "Alive?" "Yes," Jalarin said, desperation crackling through the comms. "The Creation bind themselves to their ships. They are one. To kill the Oblivion, you must kill its heart." Mara's blood ran cold. Humanity had never fought something like this. Ships weren't just machines, they were predators, intelligent and coordinated. "Then we kill it," she said, voice steady. Heart and all, her exosuit sensed deeper with the fleet. Thousands of ships felt her intent and shifted formation, circling the first Oblivion like wolves around a great beast. Plasma fire lanced out in synchronized arcs, hammering the same spot over and over. The Oblivion shuddered, its shields rippling like liquid fire. But then, as Jalarin had warned, the second Oblivion responded. It roared not with sound, but with raw energy that shook the fleet apart. A beam of violet fire shot across the void, slicing through entire battle clusters. Mara screamed as her neural link seared pain into her skull. Hundreds of ships winked out of existence in seconds. Thorn's voice barked through the comms. "Varen, we can't keep this up. Suggest retreat." "Retreat?" Mara snapped. "And let them burn every colony in their path? No, we stand here. We finish this." A moment of silence hung heavy. Then Thorn's voice lowered. "What do you suggest?" Mara's mind raced. The Crashen bound themselves to their ships. If she could reach the Oblivion's core, its heart, she might sever that bond. But the only way inside was suicide. Unless her eyes flicked to the exosuit's interface. It wasn't just a weapon. It was a tool. And she was an engineer. "I'll board it," Mara said finally. The comms erupted. Thorn cursed. Fleet captains shouted protests. Even Jalarin screamed, "No! They will consume you. You cannot fight gods alone. I'm not fighting gods, Mara said, her voice calm, resolute. I'm fighting murderers, and I'll take their heart with me. Before anyone could stop her, she launched. Her exosuit's thrusters burned as she rocketed off the ridge and into the chaos above. Plasma fire streaked past her, ships exploding around her in silent blossoms of flame. She locked onto the first Oblivion, its hull stretching for kilometers. Bristling with weapons, her HUD highlighted a weakness. A venting port, briefly opened between volleys. It wasn't much, but it was enough. Mara, don't. Thorn's voice barked in her ear. We can't lose you. You already lost New Atlas, Mara replied. You won't lose this war. Her suit flared, streaking like a comet into the vent. For a heartbeat, everything went black. Then she was inside. The interior of the Oblivion was worse than she imagined. Not metal halls or mechanical systems, but flesh. Pulsing, glistening walls, veins glowing with energy. The air was hot and alive, vibrating with a low hum that crawled through her bones. Oh, gods! Mara muttered. J. A. Yulen's voice was faint. I warned you. They grow their ships. You are inside a living beast. Mara steadied her breath. Then I'll kill it from the inside. Her rifle hummed as she pressed forward. The walls reacted, shuddering, tightening around her like muscle. She fired, plasma bolts searing through living tissue. The Oblivion screamed, not through speakers, but through the very air, vibrating her skull. Outside, the fleet watched as the great beast convulsed, shields flickering. Mara, it's working. Thorn shouted. Keep going. Asterisk, she pressed deeper, following the pulsing veins toward the core. The air grew hotter, the walls slicker, until she entered a vast chamber. At its center pulsed a massive heart of light, beating slowly, each thrum echoing like a war drum. The Oblivion's heart. Connected to it were rows of Krashon warriors, fused into the walls, their eyes blank, their bodies twitching as one. Mara's stomach turned. They weren't piloting the ship. They were the ship. She raised her rifle, then froze. The warriors turned their heads in unison. Their eyes glowed violet. And one of them spoke in perfect galactic standard. Human, you think you can kill us? You are late. The heart you seek is not here. Mara's blood ran cold. The warriors pointed upward. Through a pulsing membrane above, she saw it. The second Oblivion descending, its heart burning brighter than a star. The first had been a lure, a trap, and she was inside it. Asterisk, the dying beast, the Oblivion's walls pulsed faster, hotter, trembling like a creature in agony. Mara stumbled as the floor convulsed beneath her boots, her HUD flashing crimson. Warning, energy surge core overload, imminent. The voices of the fused Krashon warriors echoed through the chamber. We are the first. We are the lure. We are the sacrifice. The second heart will burn your fleets, your worlds, your kind. The pulsing chamber grew brighter with every word, veins glowing like molten rivers. Mara's stomach twisted. She had walked straight into a trap. No, she growled, raising her rifle. Not without a fight. She unleashed a torrent of plasma, tearing through the chamber. The warriors shrieked in unison, their cries reverberating inside her skull. The heart stuttered, glowing brighter. Mara! Thorn's voice cut through the cones, filled with panic. Get out of there! The Oblivion is going critical. If you don't move now, you'll be vaporized. Her eyes darted to the chamber's exit. The living walls were already closing, sealing her in. Her exosuit's thrusters roared as she launched herself toward the narrowing gap, plasma bolts searing the closing walls. Heap licked at her armor, system screaming. Asterisk. She burst through into a fleshy corridor, just as the chamber behind her exploded in light. The shockwave hurled her forward, slamming her against the walls. Her suit's shields flared, cracked, then steadied. Her lungs burned. Her heart thundered. She wasn't dead yet. Mara, status. Thorn barked, still breathing, she gasped, dragging herself forward. But this ship isn't. It's tearing itself apart. As if to confirm her words, the entire Oblivion shuddered. Bulkheads ruptured, fluids poured from torn veins, and the low hum of the ship became a deafening roar. Outside, human ships peppered the beast with fire, accelerating its death spiral. Mara. Jalarin's voice broke in, trembling. You must escape. The second Oblivion. It comes. And you. You are inside their weapon. I know, she said. I'm working on it. Her HUD flickered, scanning for any vent, any weakness, any path out. She spotted it, a collapsing dorsal chute leading to the outer hull. But it was kilometers away, and the ship was already imploding. Her thrusters screamed as she launched forward, dodging falling debris, leaping over ruptured passages. Her plasma rifle firing at living walls that tried to trap her. Every step was a battle against the ship itself. Behind her, the Oblivion's core began to detonate. Mara, 30 seconds. Thorn shouted. I'm not dying in here, she growled. Her body ached, every muscle screaming, but she pushed harder. The chute loomed ahead, light spilling from the torn hull. Freedom. Then the walls sealed shut in front of her. Her HUD went black. The exosuit froze. She slammed into the sealed barrier, breath knocked from her lungs. The ship had locked her in. Mara. Thorn's voice was faint, breaking. We're losing your signal. Silence. Darkness. And then a voice Mara hadn't expected. Jalarin. Not through comms, but in her head. Human. Do not give up, Mara gasped. What, how? The Oblivion is alive. I can reach it. My people were once bound to them, long ago. I know their song. But if I do this, I will not return. Mara's stomach dropped. Jalarin, no. There's another way. There is not, the alien's voice trembled. You saved me when no one else would. Let me save you now. The walls shuddered. The barrier in front of Mara quivered, then split apart, torn by unseen force. Jalarin screamed through the link, a sound of pain and defiance. Mara! Go! Her thrusters ignited, launching her through the opening. She shot into open space just as the Oblivion detonated behind her. The explosion was blinding, ripping the beast apart in a wave of fire and gore. Her suit tumbled wildly, alarms shrieking. She fought for control, eyes locked on the fleet. Half of it burned, shattered by the battle. The second Oblivion loomed above, untouched, its energy core burning brighter than ever. Mara. Thorn's voice returned, ragged. You made it. She swallowed hard. Her throat burned. Jalarin didn't. Silence stretched across the comms. Then Thorn's voice hardened. Then we make his sacrifice mean something. That second monster dies today. But before Mara could answer, the second Oblivion began to change. Its hull split open, revealing something inside, something vast and alive, with wings of light stretching across the void. It wasn't just a ship. It was becoming something more. Something God, like asterisk, the God Meshin, second Oblivion, unfurled like a nightmare chrysalis, its armored plates peeling back to reveal an inner form that defied sense. Wings of radiant energy extended miles across space, shimmering with impossible hues. Tendrils of living alloy lashed outward, piercing human ships as though they were insects. Mara's HUD glitched, failing to map its new form. Alert. Unknown entity class. Beyond recorded parameters. What? In hell, she whispered. Thorn's voice was grim. It's not a ship anymore. It's a god machine. The creature pulsed with light. A wave of energy rippled from its core, and entire flotillas of human ships went dark shields dead, weapons offline. Hundreds drifted helplessly, ripe for slaughter. Mara's neural link surged with agony. She clutched her helmet, teeth gritted. It's overriding our systems. It's inside the fleet. The god machine spoke, its voice a chorus of alien tones, carried on every frequency at once. Humanity, you defy inevitability. You unleash your horde of steel. But we are eternal. We consume. We ascend. And it fired. A beam wider than a city speared through space, vaporizing an entire cluster of battleships. The explosion lit shell-core skies as if a sun had died. Mara. Thorn roared. We can't match this thing. Tell me you have something, anything. Her mind raced. Humanity had unleashed 500,000 warships, and still it wasn't enough. Not against this, unless... Her thoughts went to the whisper she'd heard years ago, during her time in the engineering course. Rumors of a hidden weapon humanity had sworn never to use. Something buried in the black archives of the defense fleet. She activated a private channel to Thorn. Admiral, I know about Project Colossus. The channel went silent. For a moment, only static. Then Thorn's voice, low and cold. That project doesn't exist. Don't lie to me, Mara snapped. I've seen the schematics. A planetary engine turned into a weapon platform. You swore it was a myth. But it's real, isn't it? Thorn's silence was answer enough. Admiral, she pressed, if we don't use it now, humanity won't get another chance. At last, Thorn's voice returned, hoarse. Project Colossus was never meant to be deployed. It draws power from a star itself. If it fails, the system dies. Every world, every ship in orbit. Billions of lives gone. Mara's eyes locked on the god machine as it tore another fleet apart. And if we don't use it, humanity dies anyway. Activate it. Thorn cursed, voice trembling with the weight of history. You doom us all. I doom us if we sit here waiting, Mara shot back. We either risk one system, or lose every system. Call it in. For a long moment, silence stretched across the comms. Then Thorn whispered, almost to himself, God forgive us. Asterisk, the star shifted. Space trembled. And from the darkness, something vast emerged. Mara gasped. A ship dwarfed every vessel in the fleet, larger than moons, bristling with weaponry that glowed like bottled suns. Its hull bore the scars of centuries hidden, waiting, forgotten. It moved not with thrusters, but with gravity itself, bending space as it advanced. The Colossus. Every ship in the human fleet fell silent, all gripping captains and soldiers alike. It was not just a warship. It was humanity's final card, a weapon born of desperation and fear, hidden away for a day like this. The god machine paused, wings of energy folding as if in recognition. Then it laughed. At last, it boomed, your true face. A weapon to mirror our own. Let us see whose god dies first. The Colossus roared to life. Its central cannon, a weapon as large as continents, began to charge. The void itself trembled, starlight bending toward its maw. Mara's breath caught. If that fires... Thorn's voice was steel. Then we either win, or none of us walk away. The god machine's wings flared, pulling energy from the void, its core glowing brighter than a star. Both titans aimed at one another, weapons primed. Mara whispered, this is it, and then both fired. The void became fire. The shockwave ripped across space, blinding, deafening, tearing through fleets, shattering the planet's crust below. Mara's exosuit went dead, her body tumbling helplessly as light consumed everything. When her vision cleared, she saw the Colossus still standing, scarred, burning, but alive. The god machine was also alive. Its wings were shredded, half its body charred, but its core still burned with blinding light. And then Mara saw something that froze her. The god machine wasn't alone anymore. Behind it, rifts in space began to open. 1, 2, then dozens, more oblivions, more god machines. Asterisk. The weight of stars. The void rippled as the rifts tore wider. One after another, titans emerged, oblivions in their god forms. Wings of light unfurling, cores blazing like newborn stars. 10, 20, 50. Mara's throat went dry. There's too many. Thorn's voice cut across the comms, grim but unwavering. Then we make them bleed before we fall. The Colossus shifted, its gravity wells distorting entire swaths of space. Smaller human ships darted into the distortions, using them like slingshots to hurl themselves at impossible speeds, tearing into Crashan swarms. Plasma fire and missiles painted the void in arcs of fire. Mara's neural link re-established. Thousands of ships sensed to her again, their captains surrendering control. She gasped as the weight of the fleet crashed into her mind, every weapon and thruster an extension of her will. Viren, Thorn said, you're the spear now. Lead us. Asterisk, her breath trembled. She thought of Jalarin's sacrifice, of New Atlas burning, of humanity's graves scattered across the stars. She clenched her fists. No mercy, she whispered. No retreat. The fleet moved as one. Human warships surged into the swarm, striking with a precision only possible under a single guiding mind. Crashan drones fell in waves, their formations unraveling, but the god machines pressed forward. Their beams tore holes through the human lines. For every 100 drones destroyed, another human vessel burned. Mara felt each loss like a blade in her skull. Her HUD flashed. Critical loss, 60% fleet destroyed. Asterisk. Her knees buckled, blood trickling from her nose. Still, she refused to release the link. Stay with me. She shouted, voice raw. Stay alive. The Colossus rumbled, its central cannon charging again. But this time, instead of one beam, it split into 3, each bending around gravity wells before converging. The blast struck 2 god machines at once, tearing through their cores. For a heartbeat, victory flared. Then the god machines' remains twisted, regenerating, pulling themselves back together. They don't die. Mara gasped. Che Elrin's voice faint, like an echo from memory whispered in her mind. Kill the heart. Kill the bond? Her eyes widened. The Crashan weren't just fused to their ships. They were bound. If she could sever the connection, force a break, then maybe they'd stay dead. She screamed into the comms. Colossus. Target their bonds. Core resonance frequencies. Match them and break them apart. The Colossus shifted. Deep within, ancient human engineers had left hidden functions, never tested, never unleashed. Its cannons hummed at impossible frequencies, tuning themselves to the Crashan cores. The next blast wasn't fire. It was sound inaudible to ears, but felt in bone and soul. The god machine shuddered, wings spasming. Its fused warriors screamed as their bond tore apart. This time, when the Colossus struck, the core shattered for good. The Titan went silent, drifting lifeless into the void. Mara's heart soared. It works. But the triumph was short-lived. The other god machines surged, their combined beams slamming into the Colossus. The Titan staggered, armor melting, whole sections venting fire and steel. Colossus is failing. Thorn barked. We can't hold them. Mara's vision blurred. Her body trembled under the neural strain. We Don't stop. Not here. Not now. The god machines began to charge in unison, dozens of cores burning brighter, ready to unleash a wave that would erase the human fleet completely. And then, the Colossus changed. Its core flared, brighter than a star. Hidden systems unlocked one by one, as though the ship itself had been waiting centuries for this moment. It wasn't just a weapon platform. It was something more. Mara, Thorn whispered, awe in his voice. The Colossus. It's alive. Her neural link flared. A presence flooded her mind. Not human, not alien, but vast. It spoke without words, its voice like the weight of stars. Humanity. I was made to sleep until you needed me. You need me now. Will you burn with me? Mara's eyes filled with tears. She felt its intent, its hunger. The Colossus wasn't just a ship. It was a weaponized star, a self-aware engine of war, designed for one purpose, to annihilate threats too great for humanity to face. Yes, she whispered. Burn with me, the Colossus roared. Gravity bent, light folded, and entire fleets were pulled into its wake. Its core began to collapse inward, a singularity forming at its heart. Thorn's voice broke. Mara! If it goes through with this, it'll take everything us, them, the system. But Mara already knew. This was the price. The Colossus's voice boomed in her mind. Decide. Do we fall with them? Or do we chain the stars themselves? Asterisk the final reckoning, the Colossus's voice filled Mara's skull, resonating like a second heartbeat. Fall with me, or rise beyond them. Choose. Her breath shook. Around her, the fleet burned. Human ships scattered like sparks against the void. The god machines pressed closer, their cores glowing hot enough to blind sensors. If they fired in unison, humanity's 500,000 warships would be reduced to ash in seconds. Mara! Thorn's voice cracked over Combs. If the Colossus detonates, it takes us too. There'll be nothing left. Her mind raced. She remembered Jalarin's sacrifice, the laughter of children on New Atlas before the massacre, humanity's endless stubbornness, the refusal to die quietly. She whispered, We don't fall. We chain the stars. The Colossus trembled, as though pleased. Then give me your will. Guide me. Mara closed her eyes. She reached into the neural link, not just with thought, but with every memory, every scrap of love and rage she carried. The Colossus responded. Its collapsing core froze, stabilized. Instead of consuming itself, it reshaped. The singularity condensed into a harnessed weapon. A black star bound in chains of gravity. Her HUD flared. New system online. Event Horizon Lance. The Colossus turned, targeting the god machines. Fire, Mara breathed. The lance erupted. Not light, not flame. An event horizon stretched. A controlled singularity hurled forward like a spear. It struck the lead god machine, tearing its core into ribbons of impossible matter. The Titan folded inward, crushed into nothing. The other god machines reeled, their bonds shrieking across the void. Mara seized the opening. All ships sink and strike. With me, the human fleet surged. Carriers poured drone swarms into the fray. Destroyers carved through Cretan formations. Battleships unleashed concentrated salvos. Each god machine that staggered under the Colossus's lance was swarmed and torn apart, but the cost was brutal. Every minute, 100 human ships winked out. Mara felt their deaths echo through the link. Her body shook violently, blood dripping from her ears. Thorn shouted, You can't hold this much longer. Asterisk, I don't care. She screamed back. We end them here. The Colossus's lance fired again, shattering another Titan. The god machines faltered. For the first time, the swarm wavered. Then the enemy flagship appeared. It was larger than even the Colossus. An ancient monstrosity clad in obsidian armor, runes of the Krashan glowing across its hull. At its heart burned a supercore, fused from millions of warriors. The voice of the Krashan Prime seared through every channel. Humans, you defy the eternal. You will be unmade, its beam fired. The Colossus raised its chained singularity, intercepting. The clash split the void, stars flickering out as space-time itself bent. The fleet trembled under the shockwave. Mara screamed, pouring every ounce of her will into the link. The Colossus strained. The black star cracked, threatening to break free. Then she felt them not just Thorn, not just the fleet captains. Every surviving human in the Armada opened their minds, offering her their strength. Memories poured into her, families, loves, lost homes, stubborn hopes. Humanity itself surged into the link. She wept. "We're with you. All of us." The Colossus blazed. Its singularity reformed, brighter, heavier, deadlier. With one final push, Mara unleashed it. The lance pierced the Krashan flagship, cutting through its core. The ancient warship screamed as its millions of fused souls were torn apart. Then it collapsed inward, a dying star imploding into silence. The god machines faltered. Leaderless, their bonds shattered, they broke apart. Drones scattered like insects, fleeing into the dark. Silence fell. Asterisk Mara sagged in her chair, trembling. Smoke filled the bridge. The fleet floated in ruins, 500,000 warships, reduced to less than 50,000. But they still lived. Thorn's face flickered onto her screen, bloodied but alive. "You did it." "God help me. Viran, you actually did it." Her lips trembled into a smile. "We did it. Humanity did it." The Colossus's voice rumbled softly, fading. "My task is complete. Rest now, children of Earth, until the stars need you again." Its systems powered down, the chained singularity dissipating. The Titan drifted silent, its sacrifice finished. Mara leaned back, tears streaking her face. Around her, what remained of humanity's fleet formed up. Burned, broken, but alive. For the first time since the massacre of New Atlas, hope returned. Epilogue, embers among the stars. In the months that followed, news spread across the galaxy. The Krashan, once feared eternal, had been broken. Humanity scarred, defiant had shattered gods. Other races watched in awe. Some with fear, some with admiration. Many with both. In the halls of the Galactic Council, silence reigned whenever the name humanity was spoken. For they had seen what happened when humans were cornered. When their compassion turned to fury. Mara Verin, once a forgotten veteran, now bore a new title. The chain-bearer. And though peace was fragile, one truth echoed across the stars. Humanity does not break. Humanity binds the stars themselves. Asterisk.